Brea's heart thunders in her chest as she races through the narrow alleyways of the small town. The eerie silence of the deserted streets is shattered by the guttural growls of the monstrous creature pursuing her, its heavy footfalls echoing behind her. "Help! Someone! Anyone!" Brea's voice trembles with fear as she frantically looks for a way to escape her relentless pursuer. With a sharp intake of breath, Brea whirls around a corner, her eyes widening in terror as she stumbles upon a small clearing at the edge of town. In the center of the clearing, a metallic UFO hovers ominously, its sleek surface glinting in the pale moonlight. Before Brea can comprehend the surreal scene before her, a blinding beam of light descends from the belly of the UFO, enveloping her in its brilliant glow. She lets out a blood-curdling scream as she is lifted off her feet, the ground disappearing beneath her in an instant. The UFO's eerie hum fills her ears as she is whisked away into the night sky, leaving the small town far below. Chapter 1: The Arrival. As the worn-out pickup truck rumbled into the small town, V pressed her nose against the window, her eyes wide with wonder. "Wow, Kyle, look at this place. It's so quaint and charming. I bet they have the best apple pies here." Kyle glanced at her with a hint of amusement, his cool demeanor contrasting with V's bubbling excitement. "We're not here for apple pies, V. We're here to find out about that UFO sighting from last night." The wary glances of the locals did not escape Kyle's notice as they rolled through the town's main street. The atmosphere felt tense, as if the town was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. "I don't like the way they're staring at us," V muttered, her gaze flitting nervously from one face to another. "Just keep your cool, V," Kyle advised, the lines of his jaw tightening. "We have to blend in and lay low while we figure out what's going on here." The radio in the truck crackled with talk of UFO sightings and alien encounters, the voices of the locals weaving a tapestry of excitement and suspicion. "Do you think we're the only ones looking into this?" V asked, her eyes darting to the radio as if searching for answers. "I wouldn't be surprised if there are other interested parties," Kyle replied, his tone clipped. "We need to stay sharp and watch our backs." The wooden sign of the local newspaper caught V's eye as they passed by, its bold letters proclaiming, "The truth is out there." She couldn't help but let out a small laugh. "What's so funny?" Kyle asked, one eyebrow raised. Isn't that a line from that old TV show about aliens and FBI agents?" V chuckled, her voice rising above the hum of the truck. Kyle's lips twitched almost imperceptibly. "Focus, V. We're here for business, not entertainment." They pulled up to a gas station with a sign that read, "Gas and Food." "But how can we investigate if everyone here already thinks we're suspicious?" V's voice rose with frustration. "This is going to be trickier than I thought," Kyle muttered under his breath, his eyes scanning the faces of the townspeople. "We're going to need to be careful if we want to gather any useful information." Kyle and V trudged through the outskirts of the small town, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of the homeless man mentioned in the newspaper article. "Do you think we'll find him, Kyle? What if the government gets to him first?" "We'll find him." After a few more minutes of searching, they stumbled upon a tattered tent nestled beneath a cluster of trees. A disheveled man with wild, unkempt hair emerged, his eyes widening as he spotted Kyle and V. "Hey there," V greeted with a warm smile. "We heard you saw something strange in the sky. Mind telling us about it?" The homeless man scratched his beard and chuckled eerily. "Yep, I seen it. Heard a rumble like a bear or maybe a gorilla. Then I looked up and saw the dang UFO swooping down." "A bear, a gorilla, or a Bigfoot?" Kyle raised an eyebrow, studying the man with skepticism. The homeless man shrugged, his eyes darting around as if searching for an escape. "I don't rightly know, but it was real, I tell ya." V's eyes danced with excitement. "Can you describe the UFO for us, please? What did it look like?" The man's brows furrowed as he struggled to recall. "It was bright, like it was on fire, and then it wasn't. And it made a sound like nothing I ever heard before." Kyle exchanged a knowing glance with V, a hint of frustration flashing in his eyes. Conflicting descriptions. Maybe he's not the most reliable witness after all. V's eyebrows furrowed in concentration. Did you hear any unusual animal noises nearby? She asked, her curiosity piqued. The man hesitated before nodding. Yes, there was a loud grunt, almost like an animal, coming from the direction of the UFO. A grunt, you say? Kyle mused, his mind racing with possibilities. V, this could be a lead. Let's follow up on the Bigfoot sighting in the area. V's eyes lit up. Bigfoot? This is getting interesting. Let's go, Kyle. The homeless man let out a cackling laugh. You think I'm crazy, don't ya? But I seen it, I tell ya. I ain't making it up. V's eyes softened with empathy as she took a step closer. We don't think you're crazy. We believe you. As the man's laughter subsided into a low, ragged hum, Kyle steered V away from the tent. Let's keep searching. Maybe someone else saw something more concrete. Kyle and V traveled to the local library, digging through old newspapers and eyewitness accounts of the reported Bigfoot sighting. It seems the sightings coincide with the UFO appearance and Bria's abduction, Kyle said, his fingers tracing the faded articles. So, what's the connection between Bigfoot and the UFO? V asked, her tone filled with intrigue. I'm not sure yet, but it's a lead worth pursuing, Kyle replied. Armed with newfound information, they set out to investigate further. We're getting closer, V. I can feel it, Kyle said. Suddenly, V's eyes widened as she held up a missing person report. Kyle, it's Bria's picture. This is her house, she exclaimed, pointing to the address. As they approached the residence, a menacing growl pierced the air, sending a shiver down their spines. There's something inside. Be ready, he said, his voice low and urgent. With a deafening crash, a hairy, bear-like creature burst through the window, its eyes wild with fury. Oh no, that's not a bear, is it? It's heading toward the park! V gasped, her heart thudding in her chest. V, secure the house. I'm going after it, Kyle ordered. He dashed out in pursuit of the creature. Inside the ransacked house, V surveys the chaos, her eyes widening at the overturned furniture and scattered belongings. She bends down to pick up a broken picture frame, a frown marring her usually cheerful expression. Someone was definitely looking for something specific in here, she calls out, her voice tinged with concern. Kyle, on the other hand, finds himself in the heart of the park, his senses alert as he follows the trail of the elusive creature. Suddenly, the alien monster lunges out from the treetops, its deafening roar echoing through the park. Kyle barely has time to react as the creature's massive form looms over him, its sharp claws glinting in the dappled sunlight. Whoa! Kyle yells, instinctively raising his arms to shield himself from the creature's attack. But as he does, a strange sensation surges through him, and to his shock, his hands begins to transform into a metallic, robotic appendage. The monstrous creature, a terrifying fusion of gorilla and bear, lets out a bone-chilling growl as it readies itself for another assault. Kyle holds out his robotic hands, the metal plates unfolding with a sharp clank as it forms a protective shield. Stay back, you oversized fuzzball, Kyle barked. If I could just... Before Kyle can finish his thought, the monster charges at him again, its heavy steps shaking the ground. Kyle pushed against its chest with his robotic hands, the gears inside humming in protest under the immense force. The monster lets out a frustrated grunt as it staggers backward, giving Kyle a brief moment to catch his breath. But he can't let up now. This is his chance to strike, his mind racing with strategies to outsmart this formidable opponent. Just as the creature closes in, a sudden burst of energy erupts from the ground, enveloping the creature's leg and sending it hurtling into the air. Kyle staggers back, his eyes widening in astonishment at the unexpected turn of events. V? Kyle calls out, squinting through the glare of the sunlight to see a large blue figure standing before him. Is that you? V steps forward, her movements graceful and purposeful as she approaches Kyle, her armor emitting a faint hum. Kyle blinks in disbelief, his mind struggling to process the sight before him. V, with her infectious laugh and playful demeanor, her true nature revealed in the gleam of the alien armor adorning her form. "What? What are you?" Kyle stammers, his words tinged with a mix of confusion and awe as he takes in V's new appearance. "I'm still me, Kyle," V reassures him. "You're half naked and blue," Kyle points out. "Ah, don't look at me!" V suddenly realized her form, and in embarrassment, she tried to cover herself with her arms. "Why do you look like that?" Kyle asked. "I'm not sure what happened, but as I was running toward you to help you, my body was engulfed in some heat of light. It looks like we've got some secrets to unravel together," V suggested. "Are you hurt?" Kyle asked curiously. "No," replied V. "I feel free. My senses are sharper." Kyle recounted the encounter with the monstrous creature in the park. "I never got the chance to tell you, but my hands can transform into some kind of metallic appendage when I'm in danger." V's eyes are wide with a mixture of wonder and concern. "Why haven't you said anything? I mean, we've only known each other a few months, but that's a big secret to hide from me." "Because I don't know what it is, and I don't have full control over it. I can be dangerous." Kyle explained. "What about you? What are you?" I just knew what to do. It's like instinct kicked in, and I fought back without even thinking." V wondered. "Do you think we are like superheroes?" "Not a chance." Kyle dismisses it, his gaze flicking between V and the distant skies where the creature had vanished. "I'm glad you're okay," he says, his voice holding a note of grim resolve. "We need to figure out what just happened." V nods in agreement, her armor emitting a low, pulsing hum as she scans their surroundings. She turns back to her human self. Together, they set off towards the town, their steps quickened by a growing sense of urgency.